Hi, I'm Randy Wolken, President and CEO of MACNY and the Manufacturers Alliance of New York State. This is my update for Tuesday, April 14th. The governor continued his daily press briefings to give us insights into what's transpiring in New York State, and specifically in the hotspot of New York City. The curve continues to flatten, and in fact is slightly down for the first time. The net change in people who are using ventilators is negative, which is positive, obviously, for New York State and for those individuals. And the new COVID hospitalization continues to trend downward, also another positive. There were over 1,600 new hospitalizations that occurred yesterday. There were a total of 778 related deaths yesterday. That represents an uptick over the previous day, but for the last several days, the number has been generally flat. So a total of 10,834 New Yorkers have lost their lives to COVID-19. 7 states joined, including New York, in a coalition. This multi-state council will begin to work on an effort to get people back to work. I know many of you are in essential businesses and are currently open in at least a limited capacity, but this is an attempt to reopen our economy. Those other states include New Jersey, Connecticut, Pennsylvania, Delaware, Rhode Island, and now Massachusetts. The council that will coordinate this between the 7 states involve a public health official, a state economic development person, and the chief of staffs of the governor's offices. The council will integrate a regional framework so that they can prevent a renewed outbreak of COVID-19. The governor also addressed comments made by President Trump in terms of who has the authority to reopen states. The hope is that the president and the governors will be able to work together towards positive outcomes. By the end of next week, the states said they will be able to produce 2,000 antibody tests per day. The hope by the governor is that, like the federal government, there could be a large production of these cases, and actually the governor called on the federal government to step in and try to find a way to produce even more of them. The hope is that if we can identify those who have antibodies, they could return to work more quickly because they would not be susceptible to this disease. The governor also announced that the city will be producing 50,000 coronavirus test kits weekly. The governor announced that New York City's mayor had announced that there would be 50,000 coronavirus tests weekly provided by an Indiana-based company so they could start their own testing. The governor did remark that there are only a handful of companies who are able to do this right now, and there's a limited availability. He is hoping FEMA will step in and help make these available throughout the country to the states who need them most. There's updated guidance from the Department of Financial Services, the Unified Court System, the Department of Motor Vehicles. Empire State Development did not make any changes to its categorization of essential businesses, and there were also updates to New York City. There is guidance, you can find it on our website, around yesterday's executive order for face coverings for employees. You should look at that guidance. It would give you specific ins and outs of how to implement this new policy, which goes into effect April 15th in the evening. So you should check on all those details so that you can be well prepared for providing for employees who have direct contract and we'll be working with customers or the public. It's important that you follow through. The governor is counting on local officials to implement this new executive order, and you can expect workplaces to be the subject of these requirements. There is penalties for not following through on doing this. You can see that there is a variety of ways for you to fulfill this executive order, and I encourage you to look at those ways so that you can be best prepared to protect those individuals who work for you. I also want to encourage you to actively consider joining our Keeping People Safe in Factories Running consortium. The first cohort has been launched of 12 companies. We have 14 companies that will launch a second cohort, and we're looking for additional companies who would launch the third and beyond cohort. The value of these consortiums is that in this environment, the Attorney General and Department of Labor offices are getting notifications from employees or the public about companies, and therefore companies that we know of are getting calls and notifications from the Department of Labor or the Attorney General. If you have in place a plan and strict protocols for keeping people safe and an ability to respond should there be an incident, then what we have learned is that the Attorney General and Department of Labor are pleased and accepting of those responses. If you do not have such an effort in place and you cannot demonstrate such efficiency, I think it will be more difficult for you to answer the questions that would come from the Attorney General and Department of Labor's office. Again, there are no guarantees with any approach, but we think this approach, given already occurrences and notifications and, of course, positive responses that these companies have gotten, that this is a very effective way to prepare for a potential notification by the Attorney General's office or Department of Labor. If you want to find out more, you can go to our website. Cindy Omegan is our staff person who's handling it. We're really excited about the results, very positive results. In fact, we've had a few of the companies where several of their workers have contracted COVID-19 outside the workplace, and there was no spreading of that within the workplace. So obviously what they're doing has made a difference, and therefore they've kept their factories open. That's really going to be critical, especially as we consider transitioning to a more open economy. It's my expectation, given what I know in my roles as regional co-chair and president of MACNY, that there will be a transition effort that will be coordinated at the state level, but could be potentially rolled out differently throughout the state, given the variety of different requirements and a variety of different situations. All the efforts that would happen both at the regional or state level will actually be guided by data and medical personnel, but also with an intent to get our economy moving again. You may have seen the same projections I've seen that we're likely to see a decline next year in economic activity. I've heard as much as 3% globally. So it's likely not to be a growth year, at least overall, though we're actually hearing of growth years for member companies who actually continue to produce and are growing even during this difficult time. If we could be of any help, I hope you know by now, but if you don't, please reach out to and contact me or anybody on team. You can find all of our email addresses, and all of our phones are twinned. We're working from home. We want to help, and we're offering that help. We want you to be successful. You know, we take it serious. We've been around as MACNY for 107 years, and we plan on being around for the next century, along with you, as we continue to make great products and provide outstanding services in New York State, and specifically in Central New York, where MACNY is home. But of course, the Manufacturers Alliance, as you know, now has 6 partners throughout the state of New York. We have over 2,000 member companies serving all of those companies from Long Island to Buffalo. So we're excited to be doing that. And as you know, we've now transitioned all of our offerings to digital. And if you need something new and need something specific, we'll put it together for you. We promise we can create that for you quickly and either inexpensive or at no cost. That's the beauty of the digital environment, and we're getting quite good at it. I'm really proud of the team. This is my update for today, and we'll continue to do these updates as the situation continues to move fluidly. Please check our website for continuous updates. We're actually spending some time sorting through all the information and making it even easier to find. And I'm hoping you get a chance to see my morning thought. I send out a daily thought that may be helpful to you, and of course I do a weekly update. There are many other, I think, useful resources and insights on our website that we hope you can take advantage of. So from me, from all of our staff, thank you for working so hard and keeping our economy moving forward. And thank you for keeping your people safe. I know how hard you're working to do that. And of course, be calm, stay safe, and carry on. Have a nice evening.